You can't guide yourself towards your twin flame union. What about that? Did you know that? How does that sound? Awful? Let's talk about that. You can't guide yourself to your twin flame union, ultimately. And there are reasons for that. When we are living our life and the twin flame phenomenon comes into our life, maybe we feel it in the heart, maybe we read it in a blog, maybe we met someone and it just feels magical and like a miracle has happened, a miracle of love. And maybe also something else happened that made that sort of undone, and you feel pretty pissed off right now because what was that? And why didn't we just step into a relationship together? Right? That is what can happen. And then you start to go on a quest, like, what can help me? What is going on? Is there a theory about what it is? And you start to read the signs of twin flame union, and maybe you get some idea about what you can do to make it work. Whether that's true or false, let's keep that in the middle for this short moment, and research further what happens. Many people start to somehow think about things themselves, come up with ideas themselves, like how they deal with it. They have made that up themselves, whether they try to ignore it or try to run after the twin flame and to try to get them back, to speak into their phone's message service all the time, or like text them all the time on Facebook or whatnot, and try to reason with them to get them to return and whatnot. And when they don't, they think to themselves, well, this is a relationship because I felt the love and it's like a man or a woman, whatever it is in your case, and I want to have a relationship with them. So this is about a relationship. So we need to implement emotional, social relationship ideas. So they get like ideas about, okay, so we need to do a good relationship. But they're not doing that because what they do is some sort of off. They didn't listen to me anymore. They should actually learn to listen better. And that's probably because they have like childhood trauma, and maybe they can start to work on that, and that will be helpful. So maybe I can talk about that with them, or maybe I can guide them towards a therapist. And then maybe things will clear up, and soon enough we'll be able to step in that love relationship together. And yeah, and you start to somehow, think about these puzzle pieces and what would fit best to make it all come true and make it all feel more whole and more like a relationship, how you think in your mind that a relationship should go. And that is often what happens with what people do. They start to try to resolve the twin flame matter with relationship idea, with psychological ideas. And we're not going to say that these fields of life are not important. They totally and utterly are. But you are not seeing it correctly because it is a twin flame. It actually needs to be resolved with spiritual work. And that's work of another dimension, of another level. And you might just not really know what that is. And then we'll just even leave beside the question if you even knew what you were doing on the psychological level, on the social level, on the emotional level, right? How I have experienced my maturing in this whole process, going to harmonious twin flame union and beyond, is that I only started to know true things about psychology after I had done and fulfilled the complete twin flame spiritual development, and not the other way around. Now looking back, I can see that I didn't understand psychology at all. But anyway, so this already starts to give you a direction of why I say in this video that you can't guide yourself correctly to union. because you haven't done the journey yet. You actually need to know everything that you need to know, that you will know when you've arrived at the end of the journey, and after the end of the journey, when everything is rooting inside of you and maturing and whatnot. You actually would need to know everything that you get to know then in the beginning of your journey. You actually should know everything here that you only know all the way there. When you've arrived, when you're a harmonious twin flame union, the consciousness state, when you let the healing wave that comes after that come over you and work on you for some years and all of that, then you get insights in what's truly going on and what you actually need to do and need to know in the beginning of the journey, when you don't understand it yet, when you're in your questions, when you're in your big question mark period, when you want to resolve this incredibly heartfelt matter that hurts so much every day. And I know that that is so. I completely crumbled under that. So I understand. I was an emotional wreck under it. Not anymore. So that's when you want to have those answers. That's where you need them the most. That's where you're begging God to give you the solution. And you'll know when you've arrived, when you've gone through the transformation of your consciousness that will change you and the situation and your twin flame and how they see life and how they see you and how you interact. And the love will come in of the divine itself. It will fill you up. It will transform everything. That's what happens on the journey. If you do it correctly with the right tools and the right support, in the right community and with the right teacher, and with investing in yourself and committing. But you actually need to know all that here. And that's sort of impossible. So that's why you can't guide yourself. You need a guide. You need something or someone else to bring that to you. And maybe when you pray hard enough to God, maybe you will get some idea. I understand. But then still, how to implement that idea, right? How to coach yourself in that idea. Because it can be a little hard in the beginning when you need to bust through these blocks that you have for a reason, you know. That's why you don't progress on the journey. That's the whole point, because they are so hard, because they are so thick and so, yeah, stubborn and all that. So you need, that's also a reason why you need guidance. Yeah, you need someone or something or some organization or something that has arrived, that has done the journey, that has completed it, and that has gained wisdom and experience for some years of knowing how to guide people that are not yet there, and that doesn't look down on you, and that is prepared to share it, and that is loving you correctly, like Divine Mother does also already. That's what you need. And then I haven't even touched on the actual reason that this video is supposed to be about. But I think this is already a very good reason. What do you think? Let me know with a comment below. The actual reason still needs to come. Oh, well, I mean, I alluded to it a little bit in the beginning. That's for sure. Yeah, I remember that I did that, so maybe you already guessed it. Well, can you guess it? Write it down below now as a comment so that I know. So the real reason why you need guidance outside of yourself to guide yourself towards inside of yourself, to the core of yourself, where you are going to fall into the consciousness state of harmonious twin flame union when that guidance is correct. And you need that because you're trying to guide yourself with your ego personality. And that's that whole thinking about how can I solve this relationship problem by putting the relationship a little bit like this and a little bit like that, which is essentially manipulation. But we don't see it like that. We think we're very smart and so wise, and we have so much life experience, but not with resolving the true twin flame in harmonious union. You see, so that's the point. And we try to do that with our ego personality. But the whole point of the journey is, and what will guaranteed happen on the journey is, that you will, on the course of going deeper, doing the inner work with the twin flame tool called Key, that makes you turn everything around. And by doing so, you go deeper and you eventually arrive in the consciousness state of harmonious twin flame union. During the course of doing the journey like that with that tool, you will, in fact, lose the voice of the ego personality. And you will join yourself with the deeper you, the deeper voice that speaks for God, that speaks for Source, that speaks for who you are in union, that speaks for your soul. And that's what starts to come forward. That's a new voice. It's a different one. It's not the ego personality one. It's maybe a softer one, a more compassionate one, but also a more aligned one and a more precise one and a more wise one too. That aligns with something completely different than the ego personality that tries to resolve the relationship. It aligns with the consciousness state of harmonious union and how God has created that in the design of the universe. And that is the voice that knows and can guide you. But in the beginning, you have the ego personality, and you'll lose that, and then you come in the other voice. But you can't guide yourself, because that would mean that you would go back to the ego personality voice. And that is not the voice that is connected to harmonious twin flame union. So you can't guide yourself with it. And then we go back to the beginning of this video. You should actually already be there for you to guide yourself. That's like an unresolvable issue. Sorry to leave you in this video so depressed. No, I'm joking. The solution is obvious. You go to a true twin flame teacher. You submit yourself almost, I would say, to a community that is a real community. So that you have brothers and sisters and a guiding voice too. And that's how it's done. And there's a clear reason why. And I hope that this video helped to give you an impression of why that is. Love from Petra. Twin flame meditation is real cool to do because we are going to come together every Wednesday. But if you want to, I also have an option for the Thursday, the coming 11 weeks. And you will be getting in the practice, in the habit of bringing yourself to a peaceful place first in your environment, closing the door and being intimate with yourself and with us in the Zoom room on any device. And you're going to then open your heart and feel what's going on there. And you start to become cozy with whatever is going on in your heart. And that is such a softening and such a compassionate gesture that you can give yourself in any sort of ordeal with your twin flame or on your twin flame journey, or however you are feeling, or whatever the disharmony is that you find in your life that is here right now, which is always part of the twin flame journey because it is here right now. And we're just going to feel that. And even the very fact that we're just going to pay attention to it will give it so much softening already. And we'll feel such a compassionate love from you. And that helps already tremendously. You'll feel acknowledged. You'll feel loved. You feel you can finally sink down in a relaxed seat and come to yourself, have some time, have some space. And because we do that with the meditational attention as guided by Divine Mother and the 9-point energy system specifically for twin flames, it's also going to feel healing for you. You're even sometimes, depends on what we're going to do with the energy points, going to experience specific healing gestures. You're going to hear messages. You're going to see visualizations that work very healing on your twin flame journey. And many more things. And we will also always gently move you out of that intimate time together in your inner space and share a little bit about what we experienced in the group for who wants that. And it will be so healing as well, because meditation and healing, there's no actual true division between that, not in how we do it here, because the energy system is really what we use for meditation, but it's also the tool for lots of healing. There's no real division between it, so there will be a lot of healing experiences in this meditation 11 course, 11 times course. How do you say that? There will be a lot of healing inside of as well for you there. And all in all, it is such a beautiful preparation for doing the actual twin flame work, which then takes all these experiences and also goes through the 4 steps with it that I call the key tool. Meditation and a little bit of healing is just a wonderful way to feel your inner peace so that you can go more prepared towards that true twin flame inner work. And that brings me also to share that when you would do this fall or autumn, depends on what you say, twin flame meditation course with me the coming 11 weeks, you could also see it as a preparation for the fact that I will actually by that time start up the group year course for actual twin flame work. And this will be such a beautiful preparation for you for that too. Should you want that at that time? Maybe you don't. That's also fine. We do it on Wednesday and Thursday, so that will also mean that you will get a wonderful rest moment in the middle of your busy week. And that is also a very good one just to do to feel better during the week, during all the things that you need to do in your life. And I would love to be able to give that to you. That is why I made it incredibly inexpensive. There is a mega deal, and it will be valid until the end of the day of Monday, September 30, in my time zone, which is Amsterdam. And I only ask for €66 for the entire series of the entire fall or autumn of 11 times, which is around €6 per episode. And after that deadline, then it will cost €121 for the entire series. So I would advise you to buy it right now and just have the cheapest meditation experience you ever bought. I would say, I think so. And yeah, we can just meet and you can give that to yourself. The original price of €121 that it will cost from October 1 forward, that one actually also is kind of inexpensive because that is half of what I charged last season. So yeah, I think that's also a good buy. So if you don't make it before the end of the day of September 30, I think that's still a good deal for you. Should you want to decide to do it per week, that will cost you eventually €11 per time. And that is possible too. I hope you take me up on my inexpensive offer, my mega deal of €66 for the entire fall or autumn. And I hope to see you real soon. The link is below. Click it, read the information, buy, and I will send you the confirmation via email that you're in. And I see you real soon at the first Twin Flame meditation on Wednesday, October 2nd, or Thursday, October 3rd. All right, see you real soon. Looking really much forward to meeting you in that series. Yeah, and getting to know you a little bit better too. Just sharing these intense, intimate, and deeply relaxing moments together. I'm just looking forward to that immensely. Yeah. So, love, and see you soon.